Hello
stream.
and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we're pleased to bring you another Ocarina of Time GSR, which stands for Ganondorf Source Requirement Tournament Match. It is season 2020. This is the second season I've worked with, and I'm joined today on commentary by, I know I'm going to butcher this again. Is it Hyphlopod or Hyphlopod?
It's Hyphlopod.
I gotta make myself.
That's okay.
Hyphlopod and Quick. Is it Quick Kieran?
Kieran, yeah.
Yeah, Quick Kieran. Hello. So thank you very much for doing commentary, and I think I'm going to set them off. Okay, and there'll be a little bit of a delay, so we should be getting going shortly. And thank you very much, and I will leave you to it.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Welcome, everybody. I'm excited. This should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Do you know if Rose is doing Spirit Jump route?
I don't. That is the big excitement for me as well.
Because I think that's what his PB uses.
Yeah, I know he was practicing earlier today, but I wasn't watching, so I don't know what route he's doing. But yeah, this is a real dichotomy of a race. We've got Tripp on VC, sort of a VC specialist, Rose on N64. Tripp, a little bit slower, but a little bit more fresh. He's been doing tons of runs. His PB is only a month old. He's really hungry. Rose, came back, has done some D-Rust, but his PB is from 7 months ago, and he's been working on a lot of real-life stuff. So I'll be interested to see if he can really take advantage of that experience. What's your prediction? Who do you like?
Oh, I like both of them, but let's see. I think I have to give the edge to Rose, because it's kind of like riding a bicycle. Like, once you have the muscle memory, it doesn't really... It may deteriorate a little bit, but it doesn't really go away completely.
Yeah, for sure.
And
yeah, I think that's a solid bet.
Rose is quite experienced in this category.
Yeah,
it's really
definitely
kind of hard to
tell
who's ahead, though, because
yeah,
I think they're doing different routes.
Yeah, it looks like at least Rose will do bombs early, and at that point we'll get to see, shortly after he goes adult, we'll get to see if he's going to go for the DC hover, which would indicate a spirit jump and would be really exciting. Or if he's going to go for the more traditional N64 route, a little bit safer. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for the slightly safer route, just because if you miss Spirit Jump, it's a long... I guess you can just go through the temple, but...
Yeah, I don't think it would be that bad. I hope we could see a DC hover. That'd be really cool, but...
For sure. And Tripp has a couple interesting choices he's made in his PB that I really want to see if he's going to do in a race. I didn't see his first race, but in particular in his PB, he does that first owl skip that we saw Lake do against Valiant in his race last night, and actually came back to bite him. Had to spend the night waiting outside. So I'm interested to see if Tripp feels like he's got to push for every advantage he can get against maybe a faster Rose, but or if he's going to play it safe, just try and give a solid time and see if Rose gives him an opening.
Yeah, that first owl skip is pretty scary in a race, because waiting outside of Hyrule Castle that's a
slow.
Lot of time. It's very slow.
For sure. Yeah, I think, and I got to give Lake a lot of credit. When you're going up against Valiant, and a Valiant that sets a GSR race record, you got to go for everything. Is the decision he made. So I got to respect that. We'll see what decisions Tripp makes strategically.
I was confused for a sec how Tripp was so far ahead already, but then I realized that that's just inter-cutscene lag from N64.
Yep.
My goodness.
Yeah, VC versus N64 it's a completely different game, essentially.
Yeah, like, you can tell that they're on the same time.
Oh wow, Rose going for double stick strats. It looks like he is not interested in playing it safe. He's going to go for that Wes escape, and if he doesn't get it, he'll go for the slightly slower backup walking while talking.
Yeah, so already the routes are completely different.
Yeah, we're going to see them follow the same general pattern in Child, but with very different execution. And in particular, we're going to see RoseWater skip the Kokiri sword entirely, which is a nice little time save for N64 to help it combat some of that intro lag. I believe we'll probably see Tripp go for the Wes as well. With sword, it's a lot less risky.
Yeah,
Here's
absolutely.
a big first moment for RoseWater. Let's see if he can nail this. Buying his second stick now, and then he'll pick up some Deku Nuts. And then we'll
Those
see.
nuts will come in handy in bottom of the well.
And possibly later as well.
So,
We've been seeing more and
like,
more
if
players use-
I'm not familiar with this route, is he going for the West?
Yeah, he's going to go for it off of this stepping
Oh,
stone.
I see. Okay.
Slightly
If,
slower, but slightly easier.
If he misses the clip, what does he do?
He can go do walking while talking. Sort of the standard race escape.
That's
Looks like he
good.
does
Yeah,
have
he
the
does
clip.
get the clip.
Very nice.
Good escape.
Yeah, about a 450, maybe 452 or 3 escape. Oh, it looks like 450 escape for RoseWater. That's a very solid time.
Tripp gets the West. He dropped ESS.
A lot harder on VC to hold that ESS position.
Yeah. Not too far behind. VC will make time up in other places, but N64 does still have an overall advantage, I think.
Yeah, it's really tough. This is one of those that, depending on who you ask, one console or the other is going to be faster. They're very, very close in this category. The N64 route is certainly faster, but it's really hard to calculate how much time you lose in lag. So if I remember correctly, RoseWater is actually one of the ones who developed some of these slower looking but ultimately faster forward west strats. So let's see if he goes for that here. I imagine that he will.
The
Talk
fest
to
here
this.
is really cool.
Yeah. Definitely going to talk to this first owl, and let's see what Tripp decides to do.
Yeah, let's see if Tripp goes for the owl skip here. I wouldn't, but maybe Tripp is courageous.
No, looks like he's just going to...
Oh.
Oh, no, there he goes for it.
He's
Wow,
actually
okay.
going for it. All right.
That's good. I like that decision. We'll see if it pays off for him, but he's going to try and basically go for a PB. He probably of the opinion if he plays it safe, he's not going to be able to squeak one out against RoseWater.
So both players sliding very slowly across the ground right now, but it's actually for speed. So that owl skip there, it's actually slower than just talking to the owl, but it wastes more time of day, so you don't have to spend as long waiting later. So it ends up being faster.
Yeah, so if you're watching at home with like a 135 or a 140 GSR time, maybe don't pick up that strat quite yet. You'll waste plenty of time with your movement. Alright, RoseWater using Nut Cucko Jump. And I imagine we'll see Tripp go for a very similar version with ISG. So now RoseWater's in the bottom of the well. This is another big time save for N64. He's going to use a version exclusive blank A glitch to get the bomb chews in the bottom of the well much faster.
Yeah, so what it does is when Link's in a crawl space, it like shrinks his hitbox down. So he tries to enter the crawl space and then cancels it with a nut. So the game thinks he's in the crawl space and shrinks his hitbox down, but you're not in the crawl space and you can move around. So as you can see, is with his smaller hitbox, you can kind of just like fit through that crack in the floor.
And beautifully executed by Rose. There you go, he's got the chews. Meanwhile, we're going to see Tripp go for slightly slower, but the only option available to him strat. It's going to use something called the Ocarina Dive. Hover in the air above a seam between a hole in the ground, and then use the ocarina to fall sort of straight through the seam. He gets the inverted camera there, which is going to make that a lot easier. And beautifully done there. Does not go for the west, which is interesting. Maybe positioning was a little off. And I expect we're going to see Tripp take some damage in bottom of the well. Whereas, let's see what RoseWater does. He might take damage from the stalled children out here. Just small route differences.
Yeah, Tripp intentionally got hit by the large skulltula at the beginning of bottom of the well. And then he's going to take another full heart here from the Wall Master. Is it Floor Master or Wall Master? I'm not sure.
I would have believed either.
The creepy hand. The nightmare hand.
So now we see RoseWater heading into the market town and then on to Hyrule Castle. He's going to stop and pick up one more red rupee so that he's at 80. That'll be enough to buy the Hylian shield shortly. And then he's going to be on his way to go see Princess Zelda. Going for the owl skip right here. Good bottom of the vines. Let's see about... Oh, no,
it doesn't get the second half. So you have to skip both the owl at the bottom and the top of the vines.
So let's see if Tripp can make it into the castle. Looks like
I think he turned in time, so he should be fine. Hopefully he gets on the bridge, no problem.
Very nice. Alright, so that first owl skip paying off. Or at least not coming back to bite him yet.
So yeah, RoseWater is just a little bit ahead. Not really from anybody playing better, just from the advantage of N64 here. But he's going to lose some of that time throughout the run because there's just more lag on the console. All right, he gets the damage boost.
Damage boost, very important.
Yeah,
for N64.
It's if you miss it on N64, don't you have to get the chicken or like go farm rocks to try it again?
Yeah, you've got a couple of options and none of them are good. So far, I don't think we've seen any N64 players miss it, and I'm grateful for that. Apologies if that Discord ping went through.
Rose getting caught by guards.
That's big.
Is going to give Tripp an opportunity to catch up here. Hopefully Tripp can get the damage boost.
So here we see Tripp showing up. Perfect time of day. Because of those owl skips.
Right,
Will not have to wait much at all.
Rose getting caught again. So, alright, this is really good for Tripp. Also saying hello to Talon. And falling in the moat. Yeah, this is not good for Rose. These guards will get you.
They are probably the hardest part of child section to do quickly. And Tripp
makes it through. So yeah, now Tripp is decently ahead.
Looks like RoseWater playing a little bit safer on the third time through. I'm sure it's very tempting to try and mash those frame-perfect side hops out, but it can be costly in a race. And some rough guard RNG on this last set for RoseWater.
And now we have some wonderful cutscenes. Both runners
Really
cutscenes. Tripp
a
with
hallmark
a
of
stick
this
in Zelda's face, though, so his is more entertaining.
So right before RoseWater got into guards, I was about to compliment him on his play, saying he was showing no rust whatsoever. And I still think he's playing really solid. Those guards will get anybody. But he's going to have to prove it now, sort of losing his N64 time advantage in the child section.
Yeah, pretty much any advantage that N64 gave is now nullified.
There's one more
getting
big
caught by guards.
1.0 time save.
Yeah, there's the early bongo,
come up, but
but I feel like getting caught by guards twice kind of cancels that out. So there's still quite a bit of cutscene. Rose is... So there's this cutscene skip. I actually don't know how it works on N64. I believe there's a side hop, or like a sidewalk timing.
yeah, you can
You can just
backflip
sidewalk
into a
into it.
chew and then just time the sidewalk. Oh, very cool, Moose. Moose pointing out, Tripp took damage in bottom of the well, and actually not from the big Skulltula, but by canceling Ocarina Dive a little early after clipping through the floor so that you take fall damage to pick up that extra half a heart. Excellent detective work.
On the case.
Alright, so Tripp out of a cutscene. Gonna get about a minute of gameplay with 2 tricks in it, and then another long cutscene.
Alright, let's see if Rose can get this cutscene skip. It's very important. It saves like two minutes on this. I think it's much harder on N64.
Well, he went for a very safe strat there, so I've got full confidence. He didn't buffer it, but yeah, he's got it. No problem. It's a 2-frame trick. It's not super tight. Princess Kayla, I imagine he is canceling it at a very specific time where he knows he's through the floor already, but not quite hit the ground. Or just press B again, perhaps. I don't know. I'm an N64 player. I don't know anything about your Ocarina Dive nonsense. Back when I was on VC, we had to do Vine Clip, and we liked it.
No, you didn't.
It was all we knew.
Alright, Tripp getting first try dot skip. Pretty reasonable child section for Tripp here.
Yeah, very solid. All the way through. Including the first owl skip. And let's see what Rose can do. The N64 route does not have a sword, and so has to do a slightly harder dot skip. Pretty easy to do buffered, but I have a feeling we'll see Rose go for it unbuffered.
No, he's buffering it.
Okay, playing it
That's
safe.
fair.
A nice
be
one
honest.
pause.
So after Master Sword cutscene, we're going to see the routes diverge a little bit. Rose is going to go directly to DC and get bombs, whereas Tripp's going to go to Shadow Temple and do that first. The reason is for N64, there's a specific glitch where you can kill Bongo without starting his intro cutscene, and that saves us a fair amount of time, so it's worth it to get bombs early on N64.
This is really just a wonderful category for racing. There are so many different routes that all come out to be just about the same amount of time. Some theory that says if you do the bombs early on VC route, you lose something like, I think Mikami calculated out to be like 7 seconds. You lose total, and you get a couple extra explosives. So he tried that out just as a race option to be a little bit more safe on explosive count. And of course, we've been talking about the big question: will RoseWater go for the Spirit Jump strat, which is theoretically faster but much more difficult? There's definitely a reason this category has survived throughout the years.
It's an excellent beginner category too.
Yeah, totally agreed.
I hope Rose goes for DC Hover. It would be incredibly risky if he did, but I sure hope he does.
Good to see a lot of familiar names in the chat, too. Thanks for coming out, everybody, supporting our racers. This tournament has been pretty hyped so far. We've had a bunch of really good races.
Yeah, just earlier today we had Nelly versus Count, and Nelly was the far underdog, and he actually kept it pretty close. It was very exciting.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. Count opened a window, and a bad bomb hover shut that door again for Nale. Couldn't quite clutch the Spirit Hover.
Yeah, it was so close, the last hover too. So Rose in the chat says that he's not going to go for Spirit Jump this run.
Sure, he's saving that one for Valiant or Count or CMA matchup.
He's also saying DC Hover is easy, so we can look forward to that.
Tripp very nearly out of the cutscene. We'll get back to some gameplay. And I really want to emphasize, this is still anyone's race. Lots of things can happen in GSR, and it is still quite early. So it looks like maybe I would put Tripp about 45 seconds ahead at this point, but far from over.
It's going to be kind of hard to tell who's in the lead until after they both go to Spirit.
And even then, if it's close, remember that means the VC player is ahead, because that lag in the end game is real. We're talking
quite a bit,
10,
yeah.
15 seconds easily.
But yeah, like Lake said, Tripp is actually a lot more ahead at this point because the N64 player should be ahead at this point because their early game is a lot quicker.
Yeah, it's really hard to balance. The fast bongo saves a little bit of time as well. So if you treat them as having roughly the same things to do, then maybe fast bongo cancels out some of that lag. So chat trying to guess Tripp's hookshot time. Tripp also trying to guess Tripp's hookshot time. Looks like a little bit of rust maybe there for RoseWater. Forgetting an equip on that save warp. Realizing it now to go for the Kakariko Hess. This bomb's early route gives you way more explosives to play with. Definitely a much higher skill cap when you can squeeze in all those Hesses.
It's definitely just more fun to Hess everywhere too.
That's definitely true.
Wow, that lag. The N64's lag just always surprises me.
RoseWater going for every frame there, though, with the forward thrust and jump slash. That's a little bit tight. You only get a couple of frames to hit that chew. But RoseWater
It actually doesn't look like he's not going for DC hover.
Yeah, without Spirit Jump, DC hover is not worth it, because then you can't Spirit hover. Just don't have the choose for it.
So Tripp doing now is hookshot jump here. So for some reason, the hookshot gives you a very large amount of vertical speed on the very first frame that it connects with something. So if you interrupt that hookshot animation with anything, you'll keep that vertical speed and it won't get taken away. So that's what he does there is it cancels the hookshot on the first frame of hitting that wooden hut, and he just goes up and he can land on the seam.
Tripp being very brave, refusing to aim with hookshot. Taking those corners. He makes it into Shadow Temple safely. Yeah, a couple of slightly out-of-date strats coming out of Rose. Can see that the last time he played this category seriously was a couple of months ago now. They're small, but they add up. We'll see if just the power of experience is enough to pull him through. I love these VC N64 matches. Just two completely different things going on. It's super fun to watch.
I do like the simplicity of watching two of the same routes, but because right now I have no idea who's ahead. I think Tripp is still ahead.
Yeah, I haven't seen any mistakes on Tripp's side, so
we'll see how this boat skip goes. This is a pretty tough trick. I hope he safety saves. All right, looks like he is. Good.
Solid Hess from RoseWater there.
Good one pauses by Tripp so far. So right now, Tripp is in the unloaded room in front of the boss door, and then I just has to clip into the boss door to load the boss room.
Going slightly safer here with the Chew rather than the slightly faster route with the Deku Nuts.
Ooh, one pauses.
Yeah, very nice
good.
boss key skip.
That was good.
That looks really hard because you can't see anything, and it just is, and Tripp makes it look easy.
There's something about buffering that room that it just feels like pause buffering takes 1,000 years.
Yeah, it almost feels like pause buffering on N64.
Especially when you pause like a frame before the one you need.
Yes. Yep.
And then you get 5 more frames, and then you do a double frame, and then you just hit the reset button.
Yep. That is the experience of that room for sure. All right, now I imagine we'll probably see Tripp pick up this heart container. There's a 2-second time loss that makes just everything a lot safer. Another wonderful Hess from RoseWater, really squeezing out all of these small advantages.
Yeah, the heart container helps a lot with the rocks at the end.
But also it just gives you a lot of leniency against Stelphos. A stray lightning ball from Ganondorf. I think definitely it gives you a lot of leniency with the Void Warp at the end, but people really undervalue the combat in this game. We can speedrun and skip a lot of things, but the combat still requires skill and thinking on your feet.
Does it require skill? I thought it's just haha, crouch tabs go burr.
So we see RoseWater being not at all frugal with his bombs, and so he's going to be hoping for some RNG bomb drops when he makes his way to Shadow. The one downside of having all these extra explosives is bombs you can pick up anywhere, but only if you're a little lucky. Alright, solid minuet skip from RoseWater.
Yeah, Rose can always get bombs in Dampe's grave.
Yeah, and getting one drop there is not bad at all, because you got to go there for a hookshot, but he's probably going to be looking for at least one drop out of the bushes as well. He's going to need 3 bombs in Shadow Temple, and then another for Bongo. And 11 bombs is really low if you're heading out to Spirit Temple.
Alright, now Tripp's on his way to go get bombs. He finished up his first dungeon. And then after he gets...
We're just going to see them swap what the other was doing. We'll see the VC player go get bombs and magic and minuet. And RoseWater is going to go pick up the Shadow Medallion.
Another great Hess by Rose directly across the bridge. I'm always so scared Hessing across that bridge.
I end up in the water every time.
Every time.
Alright, so let's see. Let's get some Bless RNGs in chat for RoseWater. Can he pick up some bombs? In the grass. He'll get a couple of tries at it. Ooh, picking up magic is not the right kind of RNG. There we go.
One bomb drop. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's solid. He can now get the Dampe Grave.
He's just going to get the Dampe Grave bombs, and then that puts him at 18.
Yep.
Which
that should be good enough. Just have to make it up through Spirit Hover, so. Maybe we should clarify. That's enough if everything goes well, which in this category is never a safe bet.
Yeah, anything bad that can happen usually happens in a race.
Sometimes things you think can't
Sometimes,
even happen.
yeah. Sometimes things go good though.
That's
Very
true.
rarely. Ooh, Rose
we've
almost
already
got.
Yeah, that was very close.
He almost got
Almost.
Dampe comboed there.
We have had one PB in this tournament so far. Chef Bear clutching out a solid PB. Actually against Tripp, but not quite enough to beat him. Chef with a 1:20.04, the fastest time in this tournament so far that didn't win the match.
Well, Tripp must have got a really good time then.
Yeah, really solid low 119.
But yeah, so there hasn't really been any mistakes on Tripp's side.
Yeah, a little bit of safety going for the Shadow Medallion, but otherwise, just good, smart play. Looks like RoseWater not entirely sure about his equips. Those small seconds start to add up quickly.
Tripp actually getting his best ever bomb split. It's pretty good, especially in a race. You know you're playing well.
Yeah, that's got to feel good. So much of racing is about momentum and energy, and if you feel like you're playing well, that can really help carry you. RoseWater with a good hookshot jump. Navigating the seam like a pro.
Very fast seam walk there. That one corner is... That one corner trolls me every time. Alright, so in Shadow you'll also see a different strat from Rose. Since he has bombs, he can do bomb push super slide instead of the bomb chew mega flip. This saves a little bit of time as well because it skips both the boat and the boss key door at the same time. It's called boat key skip.
Also, a really subtle point about it, since it only uses bombs, whereas Tripp had to use bomb chews to get right to Bongo, RoseWater's going to have a couple extra chews for the Spirit Hover. Just makes that a little bit faster, a little bit more lenient. RoseWater doing the instinctive roll away from a dying dead hand so as not to pick up the magic, although in this case he's already gotten a magic jar, so already eaten that time loss. Alright, so just like for Tripp, this is a big make it or break it moment.
I wonder if Rose will safety save here.
Much less important for N64.
Yeah, no safety save, just going for it.
If things go wrong, you can always farm more bombs.
Did that fail?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to do it again.
A slightly early roll. Taking some damage, which is a little unfortunate. I'm not familiar with this setup from
Yeah,
Rose.
I've never seen this setup before.
On top of the chest. You got the grab frame.
And he got
this
the
looks much
slide.
better.
He got it out of bounds. Is he gonna land on the boss key door?
Looks safe. Looks like it was a late
He's good.
slash.
He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate missing once. Loses 3 bombs. He might want to farm some more. Now this is the advantage of N64, is he can drop the bomb down in the bongo room and actually damages bongo and just skips the intro cutscene.
And
So he
really
just
nice
drops
stab
down and kills bongo there.
those are some tight windows. That's way harder than it is for, say, Twin Rova to get those stabs. A lot of players will use ISG there to make it free, but that does cost an extra bomb. And RoseWater not willing to to spend that bomb there and does not need it. So I believe what we're going to see is these players are pretty close to even still. Maybe Tripp with a slight advantage here. RoseWater are going to have to watch this cutscene, but the shadow cutscene is one of the shorter ones, so...
Yeah, I think they're almost even.
I did see RoseWater got a couple of the Hesses that Tripp did not, and so maybe that's where he made up some of this time. Plus, of course, the boat key skip being faster, even on the second try. My guess is we're going to see Tripp leave Temple of Time just a little bit earlier, especially if RoseWater decides to go through CAC so that he can pick up more bombs. Alright, a solid minuet skip for Tripp.
Yeah, okay, so Tripp is a little bit ahead here. This is where the routes converge. Is now they're both going to the spirit area. Tripp has a pretty healthy bomb count as well, so that's good. Hopefully he gets this Hess to spirit.
Yeah, bomb's always a little bit tighter on VC, playing it very safe for the Hess. Very solid. Because you have, looks like one fewer Chew in this case for Tripp. He may have skipped out on one of the Chew Hesses. But every bomb hover is just a little bit more risky than a Chew hover. So it looks like we are going to see RoseWater try and farm some more bombs. Let's see if he plays the safe route of just going into the grave, loses about 10 seconds, or if he's going to play with some RNG.
Yeah, it looks like he is. No. He's not going to risk it. He's just going in the grave, get that one pot.
I think that's smart in a race. I really like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Guarantees the bomb drop.
So now I think we'll see a save warp. Or no, all right, he's going to Hess through CAC. He feels like he has enough bombs. Maybe he's going to go for bushes as well?
Nope.
No, just doesn't have time for it. All right, so let's see if he Hesses through CAC. With the Hess through CAC, this is not too much slower. If he's going to roll through, then this is
he's Hessing.
A bit more of a time loss. All right, I should have known. Never pass up an opportunity to Hess. Should be RoseWater's motto there. But he's got a good healthy bomb count now.
Yeah, and, Tripp making across the bridge, no problem as well. I don't think he went for the Hess. I think he went for the Mega Side Hop strat.
Rose going back across the bridge. He's going for the full Hyrule Field Hess. Just corner to corner.
I love how the Poe keeps up with you when you Hess across. That thing is zooming.
Yep, some dev was just like, just Link's position plus a little. How could that go wrong? Tripp going for the gate clip here.
Wastes one bomb. Mess up there. That's one bomb.
This trick will eat up your bombs if you're not careful. This looks a little better. See if you can get the backflip frame.
Alright, that's the frame. And he's good. And he has a pretty decent amount of bombs.
Yeah, it's a little tight. I don't know if we're going to see... Looks like we're going to see a Wasteland Hess, so I don't know if we'll see a Colossus Super Slide. Oh, just to get across the first part. Okay, so playing it nice and safe.
So Rose got the Hess across the bridge. So we can actually continue the Hess all the way to that load zone, which saves a little bit of time as well.
And I imagine, given his bomb count and his favorite trick in the game, Hessing, we're going to see at least a solid partial Wasteland Hess, if not a full Wasteland Hess, out of RoseWater. And that's another place to save a good chunk of time. First, though, got to make it through this gate. Pretty solid 2 paws there.
Yeah, so Tripp's advantage is draining. Rose is catching up pretty quick. Let's see if he goes for a full wasteland has here.
Definitely the first half. Both players now getting to Spirit Hover, and this is a real make it or break it trick.
It looks like Rose is going to go for the full thing.
Alright, so this is big. If he can get this... a little sketchy.
Yeah, that was a little sketch, but it looks like he's got it. So that's a pretty big time save there. So they're basically tied at this point. It's going to come down to Spirit Hover.
Ekwe is not playing super nice for Tripp.
Yeah, it's not a super straight angle. So he's going to opt to kill it and use a bomb instead.
Alright. Here we see even more time save for RoseWater as he slides across.
Ah, damn.
Oh no, okay, well...
So Tripp messed up the retarget there, unfortunately.
The one good thing he has got going for him is he failed back quickly. He didn't make it all the way up to the top and have something go wrong. But now it's RoseWater's turn. Let's see if he can take a big lead here. Rose with his sidewalk hovers. This is another
Interesting
favorite
strat.
trick of his.
He uses
Timing
the sidewalks to count for the bomb backflip here. Most runners use the breathing animation because it's the same every time when you pull a bomb.
Yeah, timing a little bit different too for the way RoseWater does it, and I think he just prefers this timing. He's only going to have one bomb at the top though, because he missed
I think that would have been enough.
It would have been really tight. I like playing it safe here. He's certainly shown an ability to Hess, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him go for
Do you think he's going to go in the load zone?
I certainly would, but
okay, good.
Yeah. All right, so he's still got to make it across here for the full time save.
He missed. He missed the Hess, so he has to jump down now and farm bombs, which is going to give Tripp a little bit of a chance to catch up now.
Yeah, this is now back to being anyone's race, because these rocks will troll you.
Yeah, they're notoriously bad. And earlier in the run, or earlier in the race today, from a couple other runners, they both got 4 bomb drops from 4 Armos. So that used up the community's luck. So I'm not expecting any bomb drops here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a professional mathematician, and I will confirm that is how random.
Oh, he got a bomb drop. Okay.
Okay, good. He got one. It took him a lot of rocks, but perfect health. And still losing a solid chunk of time there. Normally Spirit Hover will save 2, maybe 3 minutes. This Spirit Hover maybe only saving a minute or so. Going for a much safer 2-bomb super slide. Not getting it though. Maybe showing a little bit of nerves. There we go. Second try.
Tripp having some trouble with the Wallmaster here.
Ooh, 1/4 heart.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
And that could be an issue. I guess he'll get some health off of an Iron Knuckle. But okay, so RoseWater with the Mirror Shield. Pulling into a solid lead.
Does Rose do up floor? Or does he do statue climb?
I imagine we're going to see a statue climb, at least in this race. I don't know what he does in his PB. But it is really hard to make the top floor faster. Guess we'll see here what he chooses to go for. Alright. Time for Armos to see how many bombs are they going to give him.
Yeah, each Armos here is a 50-50 chance.
Way more important if you're going top floor.
Not a single one. See, that's what I'm saying. Earlier in the race today, they used up all the bomb RNG.
having some quick spin troubles too.
It's patched out on N64 controllers, I swear.
There we go. This is much better luck. Definitely fine if he's going to do statue climb. He'll be able to farm the bomb pot.
Yeah, there's a bomb pot in the hallway that has a bomb in it. Every
Not a good
time
move.
you... Ooh, what?
Oh, that jump slash. Okay.
That jump slash was not the best. This is actually going to give Tripp a chance to catch up a little bit. Like, he's
For
really
sure.
not that far behind.
Although, man, all these top
Tripp
runners
also having a tough Anubis room here.
down to a quarter of a heart. These top
That's
runners, they don't know the
quite
faster
scary.
strat when you go through the slower spirit temple. Nobody knows their backups these days.
Jeez,
Boy.
if Tripp avoids that again, he's gonna die.
He's got to dodge fire too from the Anubis.
It is terrifying.
He's holding it together well though.
My heart can't take
Solid
this.
composure. Rose getting a heart, so he should be fine on health now. And Tripp
Rose getting
should
a
be
heart
okay.
so that he can do the Nibiru cutscene skip.
Yep.
Because you do take a whole heart of damage there.
Plus a second heart in bomb damage, climbing the statue and then skipping the boss door. So need a lot of health going into this trick. Is he really going for the 2-bomb? Looked like it for a second there. Okay, going for the 3-bomb door skip. That makes a lot more sense.
Alright, so Tripp really doesn't want to die to this Iron Knuckle, so you can actually clip through the door. That way you can get the Iron Knuckle, or you can get the Mirror Shield without having to fight the Iron Knuckle, so you don't no risk of dying there.
You'll still have to fight it on
You'll
the way
still
back.
have to fight on the
but
way
it's really
back, yeah,
safer.
but it's a lot safer.
And really smart move from Tripp there, because you might think, well, look, the Iron Knuckle kills you in one hit either way, but you can actually be hit by flying chair debris, and that will do 1/4 of a heart, and that would be a tragedy. So Tripp just avoiding that, playing it safe. Only loses, a small amount of time there. Definitely going to want to pick up some of these hearts. Alright, so let's see what RoseWater can do with Nibiru. This cutscene
I'd say
skip
this
is
is
not pretty.
about a 2-minute lead for Rose here, if I had to guess. Tripp farming some bombs on the Armos again.
Plenty of bombs, though. This feels a little greedy to me.
Alright, looks like Rose got the clip.
muscle memory.
Yeah.
Yep,
okay,
very
so
solid.
he did get the cutscene skip there. That's very terrifying, and I wouldn't do that in a race, but I mean, I don't have a 115 in GSR, so...
Alright, still only half a heart for RoseWater. Twinrova, known to defy physics on occasion. Yeah, that's true, Moose. Rose has not really shown much deference to the race format. He's just going for it. He's going for frame perfect side hop guards. He's going for West Escape. Just go as fast as you can and dare your opponent to keep up. That seems to be the strategy.
And so far it's working out for him. He's got a decent lead now.
Yeah, really a
Wonder if
heartbreaker.
Twinrova will be
This
nice
would help
here.
for Tripp. Failing that unlock is so frustrating.
I didn't have audio for Rose there. I couldn't tell if...
I think that he
hit.
probably missed. He's not getting great.
This is this is...
Position.
Ooh.
Still going for it.
He
He
got
does
the
get
hit,
it, though.
actually. Yeah.
But that's one of those positions where sometimes the flame gets reflected and goes right through your shield. So I don't know if I would have gone for that, but no fear, RoseWater. Tripp also going for Nibiru cutscene skip. Misses it, but reacts well, bails out, and recovers well. Usually when that goes wrong, it goes real wrong, and that could have gone way worse.
Yeah, usually if that goes wrong, you kind of just die. But luckily...
RoseWater is killing me with these shield shots.
Yeah,
everyone is like as tight as it can be.
The Nibiru cutscene skip doesn't lose that much time. It's only about 30 seconds. It's not a
little
huge
more if
loss.
you go for it first.
Yeah, if you go for it and then miss it, it's like 45, but it's not the worst.
Another subtle factor here, some good RNG for RoseWater. The ice attack way less laggy than the fire attack on N64.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Jeez,
It's like a
I didn't know
3-second
that.
difference in the second phase. All these tiny things that UVC players don't even have to worry about.
Alright, so Rose is finishing up Twinrova right as Tripp's starting it. So this should be about a 3-minute lead, I'd say.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit less.
Depends if Tripp has a really good Twinrova. Could be less.
Yeah, exactly. Rose did not have the best Twinrova.
Yeah, Rose's Twinrova was a little rough.
No instant shot for Tripp. Not the friendliest Twinrova either. That's a real pain. They're not being friendly to GSR runners today.
And that one's...
Yeah, handled really well. Ooh, wow, that was
a little late for the shield there, but my heart.
Oh man, RoseWater going for the 5th heart.
5th heart.
Does not want to go into forest on half a heart.
Now he just doesn't want to die to double knuckles. You see.
Yes, I'm sure that's it. Wow, for all the risky strats he's gone for.
Going for the
I was
5th
not
heart is not something
expecting
I would
that.
expect. No. Yeah, again,
But hey, it's smart play.
these witches are not very nice to Trippy here.
Now they're piling right on top of each other. Sometimes these hitboxes will be really trolly and the one will protect the other. Looks like he handles it well, though. He's really standing right on the edge, trying to gain every second here. Good second phase Twinrova, it looks like. Uh-oh.
That was
Okay, good.
That was close.
That was a
Yeah, if
little
you missed one
scary.
more, I think.
Yeah, you get about one mistake. Alright, incredibly, there's just a couple cutscenes between them at this point, but, you know, in GSR, that means a lot.
It wasn't the nicest Twinrova, but I think it was still a little bit nicer than Rose's.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think he gained a little bit of time there. But these Stalfos control people, so...
I think Tripp's strategy at this point is going to be to hang close enough to Rose that if something goes wrong with Void Warp, he's got a shot. Although Rose with 5 hearts, it's going to have to be a really nasty Void Warp for that to happen.
Yeah, and also Tripp not getting the 5th heart, so that saves a little bit of time there as well.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the stream Rose is following, but he's certainly in the driver's seat. He can afford to play a little safe and play well. Tripp, on the other hand, knows he's got to go for every small advantage he can get. But really good fighting spirit out of Tripp. A bunch of times things have not gone well, and he's instantly adjusted to it. There is still collapse.
There is still collapse, however, Rose has 5 hearts, so pretty much no matter how bad the rocks go, you should be fine.
Famous last words in GSR. I don't know if I'd be that bold, but plus N64 still has that double load plane. Always have to be worried about. Especially when you're maybe on the rustier side of things.
There is also like a fair amount of lag in the end game.
Yes, yeah.
So while it does look that Tripp is further behind, he's not quite as further behind because N64 is just so laggy. Rose getting the 1 pause there for that mega jump.
Yeah, really solid. Plus he's going to have nuts, it looks like, although only 2. So maybe that'll help with this Stalfos fight, but not in tower. Electing not to pick up any additional ones in shadow. Really solid bomb count for both players going into shadow, or going into forest.
Rose hitting through the ground jump gauntlet. That jump slash into the bomb there, not quite how you get ground jump there.
Trying to go fast. Certainly has the bombs to spare.
Going for the quote-unquote impossible jump. Did you see how impossible that was? How did he do it? I thought it was impossible.
Try it back in 2007, it was a lot harder. Try describing someone how to do that jump over text. A lot more difficult. Yeah, that's true. Another very small difference between N64 and VC. You'll see both players wearing the mirror shield, but not the same mirror shield. Because that crescent moon, far too inappropriate in Nintendo's eyes. Had to be revised. Some solid nut strats from RoseWater.
Both runners fighting Stalfos right now.
But different Stalfos.
Tripp had a decent Stalfos fight. Rose is having a perfect Stalfos fight.
Yeah, really the power of nuts coming through here. It's not necessarily faster than the best fight without nuts, but it's so much more consistent.
Tripp having trouble with fairy hitboxes.
Yeah, that fairy is no one's
Fairy
friend.
hitboxes are notoriously bad for just being garbage. Did they censor the moon? Yes, they did censor the crescent moon. It looked like a religious symbol, so they censored it out for something else in the later versions.
Also, not featured in this run, but different Fire Temple music. Fire Temple.
And also the blood.
PC. Yes, we will see that.
We will see that in Ganondorf.
When Ganondorf goes down. Different color blood. because you can kill people and they can spit out blood as long as they're aliens and they don't have red blood like us. Got to keep that rated E for everyone rating. All right, RoseWater now entering the lax cutscene, the light arrow cutscene, or really long cutscene.
This is the longest cutscene in the game. It's something like 5.5 minutes, roughly, on Japanese.
Although on PB pace, I think it lasts about 6 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both players failing a ground jump.
As Count calls it, he calls it the butts cutscene, which is builds up tension scene.
That is definitely what my first guess would have been.
Tripp getting the impossible jump, proving once again that jump is far from impossible.
2 for 2. Really, this is why they're top runners, folks. And we'll see what Tripp can do with the Stalfos. I hope he picks up a heart.
Yeah, I hope so too. A jump slash from these Stalfos will kill Tripp here. Alright, good. He's opting to get a heart, which is what I would go for as well. Does he not have nuts?
No, I don't think he ever picked up nuts. He didn't go for the nut strat in
Fair
Shadow.
enough, fair enough. Yeah, having nuts is really nice against these guys. Alright. They're being a little trolly with the shields, but it's not the worst.
Yeah, solid bow segment, I think. Couple small mistakes, but overall, happy to escape with that. Slightly slower reset times for VC here.
Just when you think the cutscene's over, there's another cutscene. It's time to go back in time.
Interestingly, Link actually does go back in time during this cutscene. He does become a child again in the in-game engine, which is useful because you can use this cutscene to do a trick called Bottle Adventure that requires going back and forth in time. Occasionally see that in the odd bingo. So, Flo, both players are in lax. That means they're pretty much tied, right? Shoutouts to RJ Minotaur in the chat, showing that he's about 100 years old, making an exhibit meme in 2020. Alright, so we got light arrows for RoseWater, nearing the end of the cutscene. Say what you will about lax, but it can really provide a good opportunity to refocus and recenter going into the end game. Your adrenaline can really get flowing.
I get the exact opposite effect.
The cooldown, get iced.
Like when I'm in lax, I just want to go, but it's like, no, you need to slow down. But I'm just like, I'm in the zone. Just let me go. but the game doesn't let you.
All right, RoseWater out of the cutscene, back to gameplay. Don't worry, we only have 2 more cutscenes in the next minute.
What type of trial skip do you think Rose is going to go for here?
Interesting question. How many bombs does he have?
He has 9.
9. So I think optimally we would see a 2-bomb hover. But I don't know if that's a trick he's kept up with or feels ready to go for. So maybe a 3-bomb hover. I don't think we'll see the Mega Side Hop. And I'd put the odds on Armo's clip very low.
What
I'm
about
not a betting man.
what about unloading the barrier?
Unloading the barrier? Yeah, I'll give 1,000,000 to 1 odds on unloading the barrier. Can't imagine that's faster than Armo's clip, even if he runs out of bombs. That's true. There are other ISG strats. Not with the BMOS, but with the little guys that pop out of the ground and sell you stuff. Scrubs. The Deku Scrubs. Scrub
It looks like he's
ISG
going
app.
for the Mega Side Hop here.
Just to prove me wrong, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, misses the roll timing on that one.
Maybe he'll just do the trials. It's true, I didn't give odds on that. Alright, well, in my defense,
Second try.
he did a 2-bomb trial skip. It just, the first
That's true.
one
He did do 2 bombs.
So no nuts going into this Denalphos fight really sucks. Let's see if he can get off some quick spins. That was not the best great spin. They're really giving him the business, but I guess 5 hearts. He's not worried.
Tank for days. Let's see how this stuff us go.
It's an interesting place to equip
Yeah, I was about
arrows.
to say. You could have used that pause when he equipped hovers. Oh, that was a little scary.
Yeah, gets the job done. Alright, Tripp equipping light arrows here, also out of lax, so hopefully we'll see a 2-bomb hover from him.
Tripp also has 9 bombs.
I do put the odds of a Hess up the steps pretty high for Rose. I'm going to be disappointed if he doesn't.
Hess
actually.
to impress.
Well, just imagine if that's the one Hess he does skip.
Really good double knuckles so far from Rose here. Quick spin? I don't think the quick spin saves any time, but it looks so much cooler. And
I think it saves
swag
the
is
frame.
everything.
Alright, are we going to be impressed, Mr. RoseWater?
He is just rolling up.
Oh,
He just wants to make sure, just in case.
He wants to lock it in. I respect that. He wants 3 shots at the super slide into Ganon, or maybe 2. Maybe he'll go for the super slide double kiss. If he goes for the super slide double kiss, he's redeemed in my eyes. But if he just wants 3 shots at the super slide into Ganon, then he can have the official victory, but moral victory may have to go to Tripp. Alright, let's see what trial skip we see.
Alright, Tripp's going for a type of hover. Let's see if he goes for 2 bomb. He's going for 3 bombs.
Looks like 3 bomb. Nice little setup there. So now we're going to start to see the N64 slideshow.
PowerPoint presentation where Tripp will be able to catch up. Although Tripp's not having a very good Nalthos fight either.
I think that was still better than RoseWater's. Also, remember, these are pretty top-tier players, both with not perfect but very solid runs, and we are past world record already. Both of them with still minutes to play. This category is very highly optimized. Really nice Stalfos from Tripp there. Alright, let's see what RoseWater can do with his 5 hearts against Ganondorf. Maybe he'll take a lightning ball to the face just for fun. Decides against it. Alright, goes for ISG. Avoids pulling out the bow, an important strat for N64. You actually save like a full 3 seconds. By not pulling that bow. Yeah, the first person camera is just murder on the lag.
Tripp dies to double knuckles. That's really unfortunate.
There's the red blood from Ganondorf. So avert your eyes, children. That was inappropriate for you all. We're very sorry. Tripp fighting on. A lot of respect. Alright, so now let's see. This is the last little bit of RNG for Rose. I think rocks would have to be really bad at this point.
They would have to be so bad. Having 5 hearts here is... You can basically get hit by like 4 different rocks and still keep on going.
Yeah, he could actually take a heart and a half if he got hit by a rock and voided, and then still come back and do it again, which is crazy. Tripp making it through the double knuckles there. Let's see if we'll get a Hess to impress out of Tripp. That'll solidify the moral victory in my mind.
Looks like Rose is good for the rocks. Yeah.
Alright, Hess
Tripp going for the Hess. Moral victory.
Alright, Rose, just avoid that double load. Alright, looks solid. Just need a clean Ganon fight. Or even just a Ganon fight in which he doesn't die.
Will he go for the double kiss? He did not.
No. So disappointed in RoseWater.
Gonna have to take points off for that one.
Yeah, what's the time penalty? Like plus a minute?
Doesn't even get the single kiss.
Rejected at the door.
For shame.
I mean, good on Zelda for having standards. This run from RoseWater, not worth a kiss. Being the commentary role is great. Can just be as mean as I want.
I know. When both the runners have better times than me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Not only are both of their PBs better than mine, but they're both going to finish faster than me, so... Alright, Tripp heading into Ganondorf. Hopefully this fight goes well, and then, kids, you're allowed to look. The blood will be green. Entirely okay.
Yeah. Red blood, scary, spooky, bad for children. Green blood, excellent.
Tripp staring right at Ganondorf while those fall. Just defying the N64 lag. Taking full advantage of VC. Little trouble with ISG.
He
stabs.
Unfortunately doesn't get the one cycle there. He had trouble getting ISG, so we tried to go for the crush stab timing, but...
Those are tough.
Yeah, it's a 2-frame window each time. Alright, he gets it this time, so he should be fine.
There it is. Basically just barf. Interesting theory in chat. Oh, I want to point out, RoseWater saved 6 bombs.
Yeah, and I was just about to say. He messed up the super slide there twice and got it on the last one.
Fortunately for RoseWater, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. This is GSR. Still, even with everything that went wrong for Tripp, this is a solid race time. I mean, he's beaten Ganondorf before his opponent finished. There are not too many races that are going to be, much closer than this.
Yeah, this was quite close. You'll get to see the true power of the Nintendo PowerPoint machine in this Ganon fight. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Glorious 10 FPS.
I tell you what, though, makes it a lot easier. If you get hit by a Ganon Slash on N64, not a lot of excuses. Okay, solid Void Warp. Opting not to do the slash, just falling right into the hallway. Really, again, just spitting in the face of the N64, saying, look what I can do. All the style points to Tripp this one. See if he can clutch out the kiss. I believe. Going for the backwalk and shield flick. Very
One more
nice.
hit for Rose. And he gets it. Tripp does not get the kiss, unfortunately. So both runners getting rejected by Zelda today. Which is quite the shame.
So let's see. Hopefully we'll see a good solid Ganon at a Tripp. Finish up strong.
Yeah, so it looks like Rose is going to take this one with a low 121. Pretty decent time.
Yeah, very solid. A little bit lucky to win with that time in this tournament, I think. But that's part of the race format.
All right, so let me take a
121.07.
quick look at the bracket here. So Rose is going to go on to face... it's not decided yet, but Rose is going to face the winner of either Tsundere or TKC. And then Tripp... Let's see here. Will face the loser of tomorrow's race. Which is going to be between Juke and Axwell.
Tomorrow's race, the last of the round 1 races.
There's still Jelster versus Orange, actually.
That's right. Yeah, because their match got rescheduled.
Yeah.
My mistake. That was going to be earlier today, but no longer. But I think Tripp's got a solid chance of doing some good work in loser's bracket. We saw him put up an amazing race against Chef. And another solid fight here. Going for the one-bomb super slide strat. Trying to show off a little. I appreciate it. One more shot at it.
One more. Pause champ.
Oh,
Dang.
This is the shield flick. All right, and looks like
Tripp's calling it quits.
The slow way.
Fair
Gotta
enough.
call that one.
GG's to both runners.
Yeah, really well done. Looking forward to see more out of both of these two runners.
Okay. I asked both of them in the race room if they joined for an interview. I haven't heard back from either one, and I know that Rose's stream is offline. So
Rose has joined.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he said
come
in
on,
chat he'll join.
Rose.
Get on
Come
in
on
here,
in.
Rose.
Tripp also says he can join.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't know if they're both in. Here he is.
Hello,
Welcome, congrats.
Rose. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
I don't know. I feel alright. I feel like I
Feel
didn't
alright?
do that good, but I also did sort of better than expected. Because I don't know. I haven't played that much. Like, I haven't played this, like, OT that seriously in like 6 months. So, but I
Mhm.
like played like, I practiced for quite a bit. I did like 4 hours of practice, and then I did like 3 or 4 practice runs, and it did like surprisingly well. So, I felt okay going in, but I definitely didn't prepare as much. But it went actually pretty well.
Yeah, definitely a solid race. Good performance, shaking off some rust, I think. I want to ask, how did you feel coming out of child section with some rough guards?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like guards, I tend to like fuck with me a lot. I don't know. Like, I wasn't too worried about it because I don't know. I felt like that if I played well, I could still win. Obviously, like I think I lost 1.5 minutes from that based on my splits, and then so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I knew that obviously I had to play better than that. There was like the first time I got caught was pretty like whatever, but the second time I got caught was definitely my fault.
How do you feel about your next two potential opponents? So it looks like you'll be up
You-
against in round
Either
3 some
Tsundere
Japanese
or
runner.
TKC.
I mean, I think TZKC is good. He'll definitely be a challenge. I don't know how much he's been playing recently, but he's definitely good. And I mean, obviously this was a challenge too. I definitely need to play better if I want to go farther in the tournament. I think like I probably want to average like a 118, but this wasn't a bad run.
Yeah, so this is your first match as well, right? So since you had a bye?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty good for a first one. I'm sure that once you get the D-Rust going, you'll...
Yeah, are we
pump
going to
out
see
better
some more
runs.
RoseWater streams?
Hopefully. Yeah, I'll probably do at least a couple more streams.
Awesome. Well, make sure you go follow him in chat, guys.
Yeah, it's just twitch.tv/RoseWater.
Is Tripp going to be joining on comms?
I don't know.
Looks like he might be coming in.
What happened to him? Did he fail Spirit Hover? It looked like.
Yeah, he unfortunately messed up Spirit Hover.
Missed the unlock on the choose. VC
Yeah,
Route
that
just a
sucks.
little low on choose and went for it, I think, on only the last 2. Missed it both times.
Yeah, I sent.
Yeah, Spirit Hovers can be. I do plan on doing a DC Hover in the future for races. The thing about it that's tough is like Spirit Jump is kind of scary. It's like somewhat because like you can actually just like soft lock the game if you like really get screwed by levers and get really unlucky. So like, and then you'd be like back to Shadow basically if you saved, or like back Temple of Time.
Yeah, essentially that's a DNF most of the time.
Yeah, it'd be like 5 minutes or something like that. But it's like really rare. And then like I just need to put in more practice into it to like de-rust it, because it's like something that I know, but I wasn't like perfect at even when I was running more. Spear jumps hard. DC hover itself isn't that bad once you know it.
Well, I'm certainly excited to see if that pops up in a race at some point.
Yeah, me too. I love DC Hover. Terrifying for me, but I mean, you say it's easy, so let's see if you will put your money where your mouth is.
It's definitely a little bit scary, but I've gotten used to it, I think, over doing it in runs.
So it looks like Tripp maybe electing to join us on another time.
All right.
All right. Well, congrats again.
Yeah,
Rose?
GG's.
Played well.
GG's to Tripp. I think he did pretty good. Like, if he had his first race, I think he got like a 120 something. So he technically would have beaten me if he had his first run.
Yeah, his first
Then he had the
first
first
run was
round
a
versus
119, and he needed it too. He had a 119 against Chef's 120, so squeaked out a win there, and just couldn't quite put up the same performance on this one. But a solid race from Tripp for sure. Any parting words, Rose, you want to share?
I don't know. Go fast, Kappa.
Well, good luck in your next
Great words of
round.
wisdom.
Well, GG's to
Well,
both.
thanks everybody for coming to watch. Do you want to tell us about some more races?
Yeah,
I think there's one tomorrow morning.
yeah, there is 9 a.m.
Yeah, there is one tomorrow morning.
Yep, 9 a.m. Eastern, 1300 UTC. It is, I believe it's also a round one match. It is Duke versus X will mark the place. So it should be pretty hype.
Commentated by 3 Brits.
Yes.
Yeah, the only one's up early enough on a Sunday.
Well, except for me, because I think I'm going to be doing the restream and I'm in Eastern Daylight Time.
Truly a martyr. You do so much for the Ocarina of Time community.
Except I did want last tournament I was going to do a 7 a.m. EDT one, but Rez rescued me from it. So I have done some early ones. Okay, well, thanks everyone for joining us. And also really want to thank my 2 commentators today, iFlowPod and Quick Kieran. Thank you so much. Always appreciate it. And I did derp. I forgot what channel we were in, because I meant to give you ones to the main channel, so I'll take care of that when I'm like far
Don't worry
away.
about it.
But at least
Yeah,
you don't
thank you
have
so
to.
much.
Oh, you're welcome. But at least you won't have to see any ads on this channel, because I know that's going to be annoying, especially the Charmin toilet paper one. So again, thanks everyone, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow or when we have another match going. So take care and bye. Have a good
Have a
night.
good night,
everybody.
everybody.
See you.